Warning, the following content contains mentions of homosexual relationships between two women. Warning, the following content contains mentions of Warning, the following content contains mentions of homosexual relationships between two women as well as mentions of BDSM sexual content. For those unfamiliar with BDSM, it means bondage and discipline, dominance, and submissive. If you understand and are okay with these warnings, then please enjoy. And check out this amazing comic, Sunstone, that's linked in the description. For those who are not, I suggest checking out another video. Thanks for listening, guys! And in that moment, an odd sense of guilt awakened inside of me that I never liked. Expecting. Well, long time no see. Oh, this? Well, this is how I imagine myself loathing. No, it can't be that. No, it can't be that! Turns out my self-loathing is about 60% high school mean girl. I wasn't just sitting around expecting Allie to... No, of course not! Sometimes you were lying down. I was doing things. I am doing things. Writing stories to get her to read, to get her to understand. That manipulative, self-indulgent crap. You know very well what that is. You're trying to get under her skin, get her to take initiative, as usual. What do you mean, as usual? I asked her to meet first, but you weren't in love with her back then, were you? Lisa only acts when it feels emotionally safe to act, when there's no risk. Fuck you! I pierced my nipples for her. That was a sign of what? Did you tell her? Or like these stories was another form of manipulation? Oh my god, look Allie, I did a thing. Now presume that I have feelings for you and tell me you love me. No, that's not me. I'm not like that. Just sitting on your ass like a relationship couch potato, waiting for someone else to make a move. That's not you? I'm totally not describing you, am I? No. Really? Is that your final answer? You want to call a friend, maybe? Ex-boyfriend, perhaps? David. Yes, tell me about David. Why? Because the first step to fixing a problem is admitting it. And who can recognize your flaws better than your self-loathing? So you're my shrink now? Not sure how I feel about that. Self-loathing has a nasty way of amplifying those flaws. The better to see them, my dear. Now spill it. I met David in college. We hit it off. He had a way about him. Charming, nice smile, nicer eyes. Ugh. I don't know. We were in college. He was a breath of fresh air after dating high schoolers. He asked me out, planned the whole thing beforehand, came to my parents' place. It was like an old movie. Won't lie, I was a little bit swept away. Of course, considering he took the initiative in every one of those things. Yeah, well, he was good at taking the first step. His old man was an old-school police officer, taught David to, as he would put it, walk tall in life. And you liked it. You called shotgun in your relationship, leaned back, and let him take the wheel. I guess. I wondered at times if my secret fetish had something to do with it. But, thing is, I wasn't submissive towards him. If anything, I was demanding. Expecting. Lazy. Yeah. We both had our flaws. But laziness, yeah, I'll own up to that. I leaned back and he stepped up. And all to the approving chorus of the people around us. My brothers, my parents, friends, my circle of enablers. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to shift the blame. I built my relationship pillow fort. They just handed me a few extra pillows. Every one of them assumed he would take the initiative. They assumed it. But you? You were expecting it. Expected him to do something else as well. To figure out the thing you wanted from him without you telling him what it was. I was afraid of what he would say if I told him. Sound familiar? Remind me again, Lisa. How did it all end up? He hated us. Like a cancer. Yeah. So you broke up. The pillow fort gone, no couch for relationship couch potato. That's when you became strong once again. Even I couldn't touch you. You snapped out of your funk, moved out of your parents' place, started writing. You really had the grasp on the reins of your life. Well done. Have a badge. You really do hate me. Hello, self-loathing. Fucking duh. Now keep talking. We need to figure this out. Why? Why what? You hate me. So why do you care? I'm a part of you. I may hate you, but I love her. I've seen you fuck up one major relationship. I'll be damned if I let you ruin this one as well. We are close to nailing this. You are emotionally lazy and demanding, but there is something missing. Something important that brought me here. Now tell me more. What's there to say? You're right. After David, I picked myself up. Self-reliance breeds confidence, or something. Point is, I made moves, suggested Allie and I should meet in person. Sure, I freaked out a second later, but I did it. There were more moments like those early on. Coming to her doorstep in my lingerie, stealing that kiss on the day I first met Alan. How about that? I wasn't quite as passive as you'd think. What's that 10 minutes ago? Back when she thought they were just friends? Okay. It still says Lisa only acts when it's emotionally safe. Oh, whatever. What, did you expect me to all of a sudden agree with you? To just give up? Lisa, there are many reasons why I may appear, but it is your feeling of guilt that brought me here today. Oh, you tried masking it, tried placating me by admitting old mistakes with David, but it is your repetitive insistence that you did things for Allie that pointed me in the right direction. And now, I've figured it out. The reason why you are sitting here hating yourself. Tell me! This is gonna hurt, and I love it! You fell for her. You fell hard. Then the old relationship mindset kicked in. You felt that call of the old pillow fort and sank right back into it. I'm not sure if repeating a thing twice constitutes as a pattern, but I know a bad habit when I see one. You expected Allie to take charge, to lead. She was your dom. It was in the job description. And she performed admirably, compromising for you, catering to you. Emotional couch potato, wanting to take the easy road with Allie just like you did with David. But your entitled expectations were just one half of the equation. The other half is what truly makes you a piece of shit. It is what called to me. It is your guilt. What is? Your expectations of who she should be made you choose to ignore who she really is. You don't get it. Here, let me remind you. Your first night together, you noticed it. The nervous shake of her hands. Even your second time around, her awkward stance, the body language not of a dom, but of a person. A person full of her own fears and insecurities walking an uncharted path. A person who every now and then tethered on the edge of falling apart. But she couldn't fall apart. Not when Precious Lisa needs support, even after Precious Lisa fucked shit up. She was just as new to all of this as you were, and you expected her to carry your sorry ass. I finally saw it all, and I felt sick to my stomach. David and I, we were the familiar couple walking a well-thread road. Maps and road signs and advice from people around us in abundance. With Allie, I had no frames of reference. We were making our own way. I was new to all of this. Sexually, emotionally, she was many of my firsts. My first dom, the first woman I knew intimately, first woman I fell in love with. In being new, I expected her to guide me. But as I waited for her to step up, I conveniently turned a blind eye to the obvious. I was many of her firsts as well. Best case scenario, even if my hopes weren't in vain, even if she did feel for me what I felt for her, my alley cat, she could have been just as confused, just as insecure, just as lost. I knew this, but I chose to ignore it because it made things easier for me. I failed her. I was a lazy, useless, emotional couch potato. No, dear reader, there was no dark self-loathing version of me in the room that day. Not in any sense of anthropomorphic incarnation. Only straitjacket I need is of the fancy, shiny variety. I am a writer. I embellish things. If I didn't, we'd have a chapter of me sitting on the floor thinking about stuff. Riveting. But I'll tell you this. I needed my self-loathing that day. Like I said, it had a way of amplifying one's flaws, figuring out the cracks in the mask, in pinpointing guilt, often to exaggerated proportions, sure. But I needed exactly that, a lens. On any other time, it is an emotion I'd rather not deal with. That day, however, my self-loathing was a microscope staring at a malignant clump of unseen cells threatening to kill something wonderful. And it did something else for me as well. It made me choose. Do you know how to end the story now? Yes. Good. Your writing still sucks.